Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Imvani, South Africa. That's where I find myself today. This is a new mod map out by FarmerBOB, 187.4 megabytes to download. The map looks like this. This has issues is the wrong word. Potential problems, let's just say that. It does have some potential problems. What do we start with on New Farmer? Well, we start with plot 2. Now, the one thing I will say, the plots are too big. That's just my personal opinion. You may disagree. So that's the start farm on New Farmer. Now, that plot is 3,656,125. Sorry, 112. Now, if you come onto Farm Manager, you won't have enough money to buy that plot of land because you start with 1.5 million. If you come onto start from scratch, you have 500,000, isn't it? Yeah. Still not enough to buy that plot. Now, if you come onto Farm Manager, you've got the plot up here, which is 1,082,000. You could afford to buy that on Farm Manager. You could afford to buy that plot on Farm Manager, but the rest of the plots are well over the amount of money you would have to buy them. So on New Farmer you can have the start farm. On Farm Manager you could have a plot with a field in it and a plot with, I think it's got forestry in it. Start from scratch, you wouldn't be able to afford any of them. Contracts are available, so you could do contracts on here. Absolutely. I'm going to put some money in because there's something else I'm going to show you as well, which is potentially a problem. I have taken the liberty of leasing a pickup. So we're going to head down to the farm and we'll do a route round. I'll show you as I normally do. Big river running down the entire map. This is the only crossing point. That's not to say you can't buy plots of land and put bridges across. Probably. Possibly. We do have a train that runs up across the map. That's to Imvani Railroad, I think it was. Imvani Station, sorry. This plot here, which has the main farm on it, you do start with a few fields. And you start with this across the side of the railway track. Now, the other thing as well I will say is this is all forestry and it's steep and it's hilly. So if you like your forestry, that's pretty cool. There's no way to get across the tracks. I mean, you can bump across them, but there's not a sort of crossing point. This road leads to, or this track leads to the railway. So if you're going to load crops and stuff onto the train to send them off, you can absolutely do that. So potentially a bit of landscaping maybe. I know there was a level crossing mod a while back. It was FS22. So yeah, that potentially could be an issue. I'm just putting it out there. As far as build mode goes, there's nothing under vehicles and machinery, or sort of, should I say mods, but under build mode, we do have under silos, these two. Now, what I will say about these are standard crop type silos. I was trying to look at them and work out why they're modded, what was different about them. I couldn't see what was different. 400,000 litre for the Farmer 400 and 500,000 litres for the Farmer 500. So I wasn't too sure about that. And then the other thing was under cows, we've got a cow barn with feeding robot, which has been modded as well. It's the same price and the same capacity as the standard one. So again, I think it might be the pen on that that's been adjusted. But that's the only things. There was nothing under decoration, landscaping, productions, factories, sell points, nothing else. That's all I could find as far as mods and build mode additions. So I'm going to put some money in because we're going to need to. I'm going to put some government subsidy signs in because we're going to need those for me to show you what I was going to show you. So I'm going to put those in now. Then we'll grab the pickup and we will carry on. I will see you momentarily. Let's crack on. So. I put them over in the corner out of the way so you couldn't see them. So the fields you start with are fairly large. It does say there are 100 collectibles. I haven't found one. I don't know if they're all clustered in one place or something. But we'll head down towards the start farm. It's a lot of land, and when you look at the let's say hillside, mountainside, with the forestry on it, you own all of that, and it is huge. There's a lot of land. I mean, you could clear that, and I don't know how you would do farming on that. The sort of place you would see sheep and goats. So that little track there. We have got, because I was looking around thinking, I'm trying to work out kind of what makes it South African. And I guess are they baobab trees? I'm trying to think what they are. Eucalyptus look a little bit like that sometimes as well. But those massive trees with like the flat tops, I'll have a look online, I'm sure I'll be able to find it there. So as we head down to the main farm, we do have at the main farm 3 sheep pens. Now these are standard sheep pens, these are the large ones, 65 sheep in each, and we have 3. Now you could remove those and put one larger one in if you wanted to. Again, like I said, it's entirely up to you what you do with your map, of course it is. We've got our sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger just off to the side here, with the wardrobe trigger being in the garage. It's a standard farmhouse. Just in there. Now it does say ample startup fleet. Which I suppose technically, because of the size of the fields, and the fields have got crop in them already, you have got the equipment to harvest them. I don't know if ample's the word I would use, but we've got a jet wash just there. In our shed, we've got 2 tractors, we've got a plough, we've got a trailer, we've got a harvester, and we've got a header. There's no fertiliser spreaders, there's no cultivators, there's no seeder, there's nothing like that. So I guess the premise being that once the crops you've got in the fields are ready to harvest, you'd harvest them, sell them, and then the money you make from that, you then buy the next pieces of equipment. I guess that's now. I'll talk about slot count. On New Farm it's 935. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch is 848. Difference being, on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch you don't have any of the vehicles, well you wouldn't have that anyway, you don't have any of the vehicles that are in here, and you don't have the workshop either. There's a workshop just down here. We do have a fuel tank, that is empty but that can be filled, that's a 10,000 litre fuel tank. So yeah, you don't have the workshop. All the rest of the buildings are here, including the sheep pens, but no vehicles and machinery. So then you can pick and choose. But like I say, that's a little bit tricky because unless you're going to use a government subsidy sign or something along those lines, you haven't got enough money to buy the land anyway. And when you think of the price of it, over 3 million, it's going to take you a while to build up the money to afford to buy the farm. But that might be your jam. That might be the thing you're really into. In which case, you'll be happy as Larry. Silo just here, Farmer 500. Like I said, this is a standard crop type silo. Track runs off just down to the fields, it doesn't really go anywhere. What I'm going to do is drive across. You kind of get an idea for the expanse of your land, and as far as expanding out goes, this is all flat. So as far as building goes, if you start on New Farmer, you've got a ton of land to do whatever you want with. Actually, I should have opened that, and we should have that on as well. There we go. So you've got a load of land and all of that. And like I say, that's it's quite a raised track there. Like I say, you can bump across it, but if that's, if you're looking for a bit more finesse, you may need to look for a different solution. If you are going to do the forestry over that side, I mean, it would be an interesting thing to do, and also try and make some. The slope does flatten out a little bit further round, so you could have a go at doing a bit of crop work on there. It would be interesting using some machinery. But anyway. So that's the land you own and start with on New Farmer, what I'm going to call the main farm, the start farm. Now we're going to whiz out to the sell points. I think we've got 1 production chain already on the map. And it is pretty flat across the entire map. So, heading out this way. And turning in just here, we have got the sawmill to our right. Now, even with Platinum Expansion Edition on, that was still a standard sawmill. To our left, we've got a spinnery, just there. To our right, we've got the vehicle shop with workshop trigger. This is the reset point as well, so your vehicles will reset here. Gas station to the right. Just in front of us, we've got Imvani Bales sell point. We've then got the Grain West silo. Now this is a railroad transfer silo, so you can store things in it, so you can just use it as a storage silo if you want to. Putting into the silo by road is done there. Taking out of the silo by road is done there. And if you're using the train, you can bring your crops up from your fields and put them into the silo. Just there, or you can load from the silo into your train and send it on its merry way off to Imvani station. Your rent train point is just here. 1,000 per hour to rent the train. It's a fairly standard train as well. Not much more else to say about the train, really. And we do have another placeables area. No, that's not my pickup. Wow, it's a fancy pickup. Wasn't even a pickup. We've got a placeables point just here. Now the thing with this, oh, the train's just gone past. That's typical, isn't it? You can sort of see it just about through the trees. Yeah, fairly standard. Oh, that's what I was going to check as well. If we go to our things we can sell, I wanted to check and see if you could sell wood. No, wood's just sawmill. So it's another one of those ones. You've got the train, and it's got a log carriage on it, but you can't sell wood at Imvani station. So not that it matters too much, but yeah. So what I was going to say was the placeables point where we are now. That can't be bought separately. That's bought as part of that entire plot at 1,082,672. So again, I think personally, I would have preferred it if some of these sections were broken up a little bit smaller. Because if you wanted to do some placeables and add to the sort of industrial part up here, you've got to buy that entire plot with that massive field to be able to do that here. It's just. It may appear nitpicky. It's just my opinion. You may not feel that way at all. That's entirely your choice. Livestock market is just here. Animal dealer. There's no animal dealer bales because you've got Imvani bales just right next to it. And if we whiz down here, we have got what is referred to on the map as Boxer Imvani. But this is your farm shop, farm store, farmer's market. Grain type crops can be sold there. Palletized type crops can be sold just here. And now we're going to head east. Now I could drive out and back round through the industrial complex. I'm just going to whiz around the outside so it'll be a little bit quicker. Across the grass and out onto the road. I do like this bit here with the bridge, the crossing. It's very picturesque. I don't wander around looking for collectibles in all the kind of the obvious places along the shorelines between rocks. I looked in the little bits of boats around the buildings and stuff up at the sort of the industrial estate. I couldn't find one anywhere. They have to be somewhere. There's going to be some collectibles. I just haven't come across any. Normally when there's 100, they're all over the place. I thought I was dreaming it. But you kind of get an idea for the expanse of the map and the size of the fields when you're driving. It's sort of, you can look at a map and go, oh yeah, it's difficult to kind of get your head around scale unless you've got two maps side by side. When you've got a map that's got 165 fields on it compared to a map that's got 15 fields on it, you look at the fields and go, oh yeah, they're a fair size, but they are massive. Contracts, like I said, are available. Let's have a look at a contract. For example, harvesting field 10, 32. I mean, it doesn't actually pay as much as I thought it would, considering harvesting field 14. So 10 and 14. Field 10. And 14 is there. God, you imagine doing that. Sugar beet on field 13. Oh! Especially if you get a pull behind sugar beet harvester and not a... Oh, that'd be a naughty one. Anyway, right, we're heading up here to 2 additional farms. Contractor farms, I mean, however you want to set them up would be entirely to you. However, this is where we encounter a problem. So, I'll show you what I mean. Stop the pickup and we'll hop out. If we go to the map and we'll look here, we've got a silo here. That's interesting. Oh yeah, so we've got a silo here. We have got a silo just there, which isn't showing at the moment. We've got a fuel point, we've got a sleep trigger, fuel point, and then we've got cows. Now we don't own that land. If I click on those, I can't jump to them. So in my head I thought, okay, we need to buy the land. Obviously, that kind of makes sense. So what we'll do, we'll buy that plot at 3,388,688. And we do that, we get the other silo pop up. We can click on that and we can go to that one, no problem at all. We still can't go to the sleep trigger. It won't let me select that, won't let me select that, and it won't let me select the cows either, which is a bit peculiar. So then we buy that plot next door, 2,707,328, buy that, do that and that. We get no extra triggers come up, but it won't let me go. I can't select the silo, I can't select the fuel, and I can't select the sleep trigger. So when we get out of the pickup and jump over, I come over to this, I get no information come up for the silo either. So my field info screen on, and I'll show you another one, nothing comes up. We've got the fuel point there, but there's no icons, there's no triggers to fill that up. We've got a shed there, jet wash, again come over to the jet wash. I've got nothing coming up to use the jet wash, but it is sitting there, we own the land. That is showing as a sleep trigger, but I've got no triggers come up at all. If I walk past it, I've got, and I, like I say, I wanted to double check and own the land and make sure I've done everything right. I can't open the garage door. So even though I've bought the land, the icons are showing. I can't open the shed doors. I can do the shed lights, but it's acting like I don't own the land because the icons haven't shown. Now across the way, I bought this plot as well, which took in a whole load. The silo then appeared on the map and the icons are here. And if I come over to here, you'll see bottom right, Farmer 400, the silo is empty. So my field info screen is working. That silo is just not registering. And the same though on here. So that will work, but I've got no trigger icons come up for the sleep trigger and the wardrobe trigger. I've got nothing come up for the fuel. And I can't open the sheds either. So even though I own the land, it's not working. I can't utilise these as farms. The other thing I thought, maybe I didn't try, can I demolish them? No, it's not even coming up that they're owned. It's very strange. I'm sure the silo will let me, yeah. So it'll let me remove that silo, but not that one, or that, or that, or that. Right, which brings me on to the cows, which are behind. So this is the modded cow barn that I said about at the start. If we whiz round to the back of there, there are no icons or triggers for the cows either. There are cows in there, but I have no idea how many, because if I come onto here and we go down to that, that's only showing as animal pens, sheep barn large ×3, no animals yet. Yet I own this land with a cow pen on it, with cows in it, it's just not registering. So yeah, I'm assuming it'll get an update. It's a strange one, unless it's just a glitch. Well, no, it's no. I was going to say unless it's a glitch my PlayStation 5 is incurring. What I did last night, because I finished the mods fairly late, I went indoors, sorted out dinner and all the rest of it, and I thought what I'll do is I'll put on my PlayStation 4 indoors, and I'll do my prep for the map tour on the PlayStation 4. Which I did, and it was doing it on the PlayStation 4. So in my head I thought, okay, this could be a problem with the PlayStation 4, it could be old gen console. When I came back out to the man cave this morning and then carried on prepping for the map tour, PlayStation 5, it's exactly the same. So it's not the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4, I think it's an actual issue. So like I say, you can see the cows. I can't open any of the doors, I've got no triggers. But if we come back to our map, as you saw already, we own the land. I was a little bit gutted, I'm not going to lie. And on that slight disappointment, that's the map. We started down here and went down to the main farm area, which seems to be working alright. Actually, what I'm going to do, jump there, see if we can catch the trains that goes by. We'll be quick enough so you can see it. Run, Forest! There you go. I don't normally tab and stuff, but there you go. That's the train. I'm sure you've seen one before. Anyway, we started down here at the main farm. Then we came back up with the pickup and out here, taking all these points. And we came back across the river, out here, to this point here. That's the map. That's Imvani, South Africa by FarmerBOB. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.